This podcast is brought to you by the Orlando Economic Partnership. Welcome to the City Playbook, a new podcast that's going to take you behind the ideas, the innovation, and the initiatives shaping the future of Orlando. I'm Tim Giuliani, President and CEO of the Orlando Economic Partnership. If you've ever wondered what it takes to make a city a place people want to live, play, build, belong, develop, then this is the show for you. This is for policymakers, business leaders, students, residents, anyone that's paying attention to how the future of Orlando is taking shape. We're going to have conversations that typically happen behind closed doors, give you access to the decision makers and the difference makers that are shaping the future of Central Florida. So if you're curious about what's next for Orlando, and join us as we build the city together. I'm really excited about today's episode. So I sat down with Sal Rehmetullah. You might know him from being a founder at Stax and now at Worth AI. He's got a fantastic entrepreneurial journey that's all happened here in Central Florida. So I've known Sal over the years. It was good to catch up. It was good to hear his reflections on having such a successful exit with Stax and then what came next and why he decided to build company number 2 here with his sister Sunera. So it's a great story, a lot of insights, really interesting about how he thinks about the future of the city and how important that is to building a good business. So before we jump into it, I want to remind you, we do this show every other week. I hope you'll like, share, and subscribe this podcast. I really appreciate you joining us, Sal. It's always been fun to talk to you at different steps of your journey.
Indeed.
And not everyone knows you, so I'd love for you to make your introduction of who's Sal.
Well, I appreciate it. Sal Rehmetullah, very nice to meet the whole digital audience and great seeing you as always. Orlando native for coming almost 20 years now that I think about it. Went to high school here, went to University of Florida. My first job out of here, and then obviously built the first unicorn out of Central Florida. So background, obviously consulting, payments, and started Stax Payments. For those that don't know, did integrated payments right here in our backyard, created 500 plus jobs. We created about 70 millionaires right here in our backyard and scaled the company and sold it for a little over $1 billion a few years ago. Mm-hmm. Went off into the sunset and now back again, doing it all over again with a new company called Worth, where we're redefining business credit scores for small businesses. So think a FICO credit score for how you get a loan or anything today, but how do we enable small businesses to be better and have a more streamlined onboarding process. And so that's sort of the professional background. The other part of the fun things that we haven't caught up with, I had a newborn 8 months in. His name's Reese. Super fun being a dad. So that's been a new phase.
So 8 months, he's starting to get a little personality.
Full personality. He's at 98 percentile height, 96 percentile weight. I don't even know. Those genes don't belong
From where?
to my body. I don't. It's got to be my wife's side, but it's just been fun just having something around.
That's awesome
in that way. So. Yeah.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's go back to the sunset.
Sure.
All right. So you have this major success. Okay. I saw you grinded it out. You did all the things. You have all the stories. There's all the podcasts.
A 10-year overnight success
to tell that story, right? Yeah. You grinded it out. You got there. Okay. So you get there, right? You have the success. You go into the sunset for a little bit. Talk us through what that experience is of evaluating what's important to you, what's next, what you spend your time doing.
Yeah. So for those that know, it was a decade journey creating a payments company, as I briefly mentioned. It becomes your personality. It becomes who you are, right? So if you ask me who I am, I would be Sal Rehmetullah, president, founder of Stax. Like that was just like how it came across. Doesn't matter if we're at a dinner party or at lunch or anywhere in between. So I'd say the first point is like you reach the pinnacle, you have this great exit, and it's like, it's very awesome. But at the same time, there's like this element of like, what's next?
Right.
And so you take a step back and you're like, all right, do I want to do it again? Do I go play golf? Do I, travel? And all of us have whatever that looks like for ourselves. So I'd say at least I'll speak for myself, I did the world travel, bounced around for like 3 months all over, as you can imagine. Started working on my golf game.
You probably bought at least one new pair of Jordan 1s.
I have a couple hundred pairs at this point. And then I started working on my golf game. I was like, let me see if I could get back to being good at golf. I never crossed 81, still haven't. So I realized the PGA Tour was not also for me.
Okay.
And
but I mean, 81's pretty good.
I am pretty good.
But
we
die
think
for an 81.
I think investors believe that it's a correlation between how good of a golfer you are and how good of an entrepreneur you are. So I'm back at like a 95. So
you're a good entrepreneur.
Exactly. I'm back again. And I think at that point, I did everything. I would like go down Winter Park and be like, who's having lunch at 11:30 or 12 o'clock and out here for 3 hours? That became me, of being like finding things to do and playing pickleball and working out twice a day. And then you just reach boredom. I think that's what it is. And at that point it was, do I go become a CEO somewhere? And we, both Sunir and I, who started the company alongside me. So Sunir and I both started Stax Payments, and both of us were in our own journeys of what do we want to do. And for me at the time, I didn't have any kids. I didn't have like this thing that I had left behind. For Sunir, she was like, she had missed a lot of like field trips and
made up for some lost time.
Yeah. So she was like, still had like this, hey, I really want to be a great mom. I really want to focus a lot more of my attention. Not that she wasn't great before, but really wanted to dedicate more time to it. And so for me, I was like, well, what do I do? And, we had all of our folks, our entrepreneurs, our VCs or Ps that backed us were like, hey, Sal, take over this company, take over this company. But none of it felt authentic. Like it just didn't feel like I was a hired gun coming into something that wasn't passionate for me. Right. And we were very blessed to make enough money for 5 lifetimes over, but it was like, what do we make as an impact this time around? And so it was actually me and Snira got into a room in my house, and I was, we like basically locked the doors, as I would say. It was actually me, Snira, and Jacques at the time. Like when they announced the Pope, they like the white smoke comes up and you can't leave for 27 days. It was kind of like that process, which it was just like, we're going to figure this out together.
Yeah.
And we started figuring out where we were good and what are the things that we felt weren't there. And so we always knew small business was important to us. And we felt that as amazing of a business outcome we even had at Stax, the biggest challenge was onboarding folks. But you and I can pull out our iPhones right now and sign up for an Apple Wallet credit card in 30 seconds. We're like, why doesn't that exist in the business side? How do we enable all sorts of people to be able to do that? And so that's where the idea of Worth was born, which is our newest organization. That's where we're like, all right, let's see if we can make this come to fruition. And it started off with me. I was like, Jacques, do you want to do it? Sunira, do you want to do it? And both of them were hesitant because they were enjoying the fact that they got their time back.
Yeah.
But I think for me, it was just, I wanted to do something again.
Okay. So let's cover this topic once. So there's not a lot of brother-sister duos, right? Yeah. Now take 2. All right. So now we're doing it again. So I'd love to know your thoughts on, and you're doing it again in Orlando. So there were some things that a lot went right, but you enjoyed it. You wanted something similar again. Yeah. And I'm just curious how you got to that point of, you could have picked up and done this next one in San Francisco. You could have done it anywhere. Yeah. Barcelona. You decided, okay, let's do it here again, and we're going to do it together again. Yeah. So I'm curious about how that came to you.
I'd say the first one, there are amazing things about Orlando, and then there are some things that needed some work. I'd say in our Stax journey, we had some really great mentorship and folks that supported us, from Kelly Cohen, for the folks that know, to, the mayor themselves, to the city themselves. They embraced us in a variety of ways. I mean, we were a darling child of here, and we got a ton of support to do so. I think there was probably a lot more business we could have had that I don't think we got, right? I think that there was some opportunity to say, and some of it could have been on us, some of it could have been on City, but, it was great. We also had a great talent pool coming in from UCF, UF, Rollins. If you really think about it, Orlando, within 100 miles, you have 80,000 graduates, on a consistent basis that are very smart individuals that are all coming up. And so I think we had found a really nice playground for ourselves to be able to build, which led to a lot of success for Stax. I think the second time around, when it came to it, it was the fact that not only the community was good, we want to put Orlando on the map, right? I think Sarah and I have a personal pride. I went to 10 schools in 12 years. So a lot of people, both Sunir and I, bounced around a lot. So when we started, Sanira refused post-college to leave Orlando. I actually left. I lived in New York. I actually lived in 34 countries. I went to San Francisco. I moved back from San Francisco to start Fat Merchant and Stax with Sanira. But
she wanted that stability.
She wanted the stability. So she was like, I am not going to move. And so that's what led us back to come here originally. And then now looking at it, we feel so, loyal to the community. That's been great back to us. And we can see where it wants to go. They're in no way, shape, or form I'm telling you it's there yet, but there's such great foundational pieces. And every single year you look at it, there's been monster growth, whether it's directly Orlando itself to the Lake Nona developments, to Dr. Phillips, to Osceola counties, to other counties around it. We just feel like Central Florida's taken a big step forward. And we just take a lot of pride in wanting to say that we want to build it here. And so I think that there's just some great pieces and we enjoy life. Like life is really good here. I mean, yes, there are a couple not so great months in the year, but all around, it's amazing. The cost of living is generally amazing. It's a large enough city where you can do a lot of things, but there's still a quaintness to everybody knows everybody. That's been a really, really great piece.
So can I put us on a phone call? Okay. Yeah. I'm sitting in the Bay Area.
Yep.
I'm sitting in Atlanta. Right. And we get on the phone and we're talking about investment in your next company.
Yeah.
And I ask you, well, why do you want to do this in Orlando?
Yeah.
What's your answer to them?
Yeah, I'd say one, it's amazing. In our early days, I would have said it's nice to be a big fish in a small pond. So that was the first answer I would have said back in the day. I'd say now, I think it's the people that we get to work with actually care. And it's not a knock on San Francisco, but there is every single day there's a new cover of a new person that just raised 50 million, 25 million and sold his company, et cetera. It's amazing. It's great. But they look at it as law of averages numbers. They throw a bunch of darts on the wall, see what sticks. For Orlando, I think there's a version of scarcity to it. And so they want to back the right horses because there's not a ton to back. And then the whole community rallies around that. And so I think there's a familial environment that comes through here where people actually want to see each other win. And even folks that are competitors that may be in the space are sitting at the same table, right? I can guarantee you, and I'm not in these meetings, but you can go down the road in Central Florida. I'm sure Disney, Universal, and SeaWorld and all the other people probably get into a room once a month or once a quarter to say, how do we drive tourism? They're not like, how do I steal from you or how do I steal from you? There's just this element of driving for togetherness. And that's what you feel even in the tech world for us here, which is not this cutthroat environment of stealing an individual or playing. Like when we recruited from someplace, sometimes I would call that CEO and be like, hey, this person applied. We want to hire them, but I don't want to like step on your toes, et cetera. And like, that's the style of, like relationships we have here. It is different. And I think that it led to investors believing within that. And then I'd say, as I said, the early stage talent here. So I'd say like that 3 to 5 year experience. I don't think I've seen any place better just because you're coming out of school. They're ambitious, they're driving. And we had great talent there. I'd say we struggled in the middle managers just because we would lose people to the Austins, the New Yorks of the Googles and the Facebooks. And, like naturally these guys have built great careers. They get great dollars and they want to do it. And then you have the boomerangs that come back. So they finish that stint and then they're like, no.
They got it out of their system, kind of like you.
Yeah.
You
yes,
did
exactly.
It. They did
That's
it.
Exactly right. Just like me. And you're spot on there. And then you want to come back because there is that part of life that you want to be a part of. And so,
Yeah. Your values change, what you're interested in, what's important to you. Now take us into the Worth AI boardroom.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember the day you went public and announced the company. We did that together and downtown. Where are you at now? Like what's next? What are the decision points? What's next for Worth AI? Has it, there's probably still a lot of room to go before you hit that next goalpost.
Absolutely. So you asked the question of working with your sister first. I'll answer that one. Why do it again? I don't know. That was a dumb. No, I'm just kidding.
There are days, I'm sure.
There's always days. You build. It goes back to the loyalty question I said within the community. It's the same way for Sunir and I. There's just trust. We both trust that we want the same outcome. We may have different paths to getting there, but every day that we work towards it, it's the same way. So we can leave a room in massive disagreement, but if you're going to put us in front of somebody, we will both maniacally agree in the direction that we're going. And so it creates a great environment in early days to build. And you need people that can do a variety of traits in the early days. We're not specialists in the beginning. You're generalists across the board. And so I think Sunir and I have found...
Meaning you got to do everything.
You got to do everything.
Right.
And so how can you need to find people that can at least move the ball in any version of something.
Take something off your plate. Yeah.
And so I think that we've just built an amazing bond to do that. And we love working with one another. I'd say on the Worth journey, so when we started back, I don't know, when we did the announcement, we're probably 12 people. We're 50-ish or so now, 30 or so here in Orlando. I think 55, if I have to quote the number, somewhere in that range. So it's been amazing growth. We've raised about $25 million of capital, which has been nice, all kind of pouring back into the ecosystem here. Mm-hmm. But we are definitely entering into the big scale journey. So we have won almost 30 large customers, large banks, payment companies, organizations, that you would all know. I can't say all the names, but that you would know utilizing our platform end to end. We are making some very, very big moves, and we're really, really excited. And I would say we are on pace to run in that unicorn status all over again.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah, we look forward to it.
Yeah.
A lot of work to do always, but I think the signs are pointing in the right direction.
Okay, so let's just fast forward, play a little game.
Yeah.
So you hit those marks, right? And you're thinking, what's next again? And someone's just all over you to be mayor. Mm-hmm. Someone's all over you to be the emperor of Central Florida. You had the magic wand. Okay. Yeah. What do you do with that? What comes to mind of what would you do if Sal was mayor for a day and had the magic wand and can do what he wanted?
I would say, and this is obviously going to be biased based on my own opinion, I enjoy parts of life which include like eating, walking around, doing things. And I feel that like being a business owner here, we always get incentives, right? It's like if you hire somebody, you get this training credit or you get a tax credit, et cetera. I feel like when we try to recruit people go not just for the company, they come to see like their life in that region or area.
Sure.
And the Orlando food scene has gotten 1,000 times better, but I really believe I would trade all my incentives in for people to continue to pour back into that part of Orlando, whether it's getting downtown back to having restaurants and retail and things along those lines, which create a just place that people want to be. Like Raleigh, North Carolina has done it. Austin has done it. Portland has done it. There's a lot of great communities that have really been able to foster that culture. And I think we can do it. It just feels like we fall short or have fallen short for some reason. And I think that's what I would do. I think the way people remember things in any city you go visit is not, I saw this great building of Bank of America or KPMG or whatever it may be. Right. Not saying that those aren't pivotal to being able to do it, but I think you experience it's so great to have the food truck parks or the places you walk through, and we have this great beer garden. I just think that continuously investing in that is what leaves a lasting impact for people that come here. And we still have to bring people away from the whole, I forgot the slogan used to be, or you don't know the half of it. I think that was the slogan originally of, like Disney and what else. I think being able to continue to invest in the what else from a, leaving an emotional impact for people to being here.
Yeah. And it's been nice to see, our partners, organization we work with a lot is Visit Orlando, and their work with Michelin and getting all of these Michelin rated restaurants in Central Florida has just really, and it's attracting chefs and it's spurring, chefs to take on their next challenge here. That's been, that's where we're trying to join sort of that authentic experience people are looking at from a visitation standpoint. Like you go, say we're going to go take 3 days in San Francisco. We want to find cool restaurant that no one's found. Yep. We want to walk and check out some districts and part of town that aren't on the postcard. Yep. We want to do those things. And so as they've, I think, focused more on that authenticity and that cool visit, it's the same stuff that you want to show off to that person you're trying to get to move from Atlanta.
Exactly right.
It's the same thing. And as we talk to 1,000 different stakeholders, business leaders over the last year, we've been trying to help the community come up with what's a 20-year vision for where we want to be. And if we would have written it before asking those people, we would have fallen short. But when we ask, it seems like it is about a cool place.
Yeah.
It's a good place. We're growing tremendously fast. We've sprawled a lot. People don't want to drive all day.
Yeah.
So having that restaurant that's adjacent to the coffee shop, that's near your office, that's not that far from where you work, is sort of the planning principles I think we need to pursue.
Yeah.
And that's what we kept hearing, is this idea of like a 15-minute city. It's, multi-use.
Yeah.
And even local governments are kind of reacting, to that same sentiment, I think, and trying to update their planning practices. Because you go to Nashville.
Yeah.
Right? 68% of their skyline in the last 10 years. It's an amazing story, but a lot of it's mixed use. It's not just one thing. It's nice hotels. It's convention space and meeting space. It's great office space.
Yep.
But it's also a lot of apartments, multifamily housing, retail. They probably have 8 great steakhouses on ground floor in their retail. I think that's, I think that what we heard was that's what's next for Orlando. And it's interesting to hear you say the same thing, because when it comes to recruiting people and getting them to stay here, like that's what they're looking for.
Absolutely. And that's, we just got to start to see it, right? I know there's like parts of progress. It's just like, I just want to like click fast forward and get to it.
Yeah.
And then there's the other things. Like the Brightline was a great addition to Miami. I'm hoping that they approve the Tampa side of it, because I think being able to attract people into the city in a variety of ways to reduce commutes, I think is a great way to continuously add things to it. And so, as I said, I think the progress has been there. I think the work that Jason and the Orlando sports side have done has been phenomenal.
Yep.
I think bringing in, obviously, the Orlando Magic being good is always great. But
I just saw 14 nationally televised games this season.
I know, it came out yesterday.
For those
right?
that follow, that's awesome.
It is, and that's amazing right there in itself. I don't know, and that's what I'm saying. There's just so many different projects right across from the Amway Arena or the Kia Center now to be able to get rebuilt as well. And so like there's so many cool things. And then the Olympic bids that we've put in and the cool soccer aspects, Orlando City Soccer doing great, and the Orlando Pride winning. So I think like we're seeing so many different aspects really drive a diverse population. And that's the other thing I would say that's really cool about Orlando. It's actually way more diverse than I would have originally imagined, right?
Yeah, me too. I didn't expect what I found.
Doesn't matter where you walk in any version, whether you're on the tourist side to a local side of the communities, you have every single type of person kind of walking the streets. And I think it's been really cool for
restaurants
to be able to enjoy. And I think that that's a big element of what makes Orlando very, very cool.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, this is a kind of a business type conversation. And when you think about all the recommendations or ideas, or if you had control, it's not tax policy. It's not, there are certain aspects of business that kind of got to be in place, but once you have those, in Florida and Orlando has a lot of that. Now it comes to all these important things that kind of all revolve around talent. Yeah. Right? You got to have a cool place that these people that could live anywhere do want to live in your city. Yeah.
You're spot on. And we're probably not mentioning it because those things are good, right? So the reason I'm not saying of tax benefits or blank, because they exceed the standards that are already out there. So I don't want to take away from those things. I think it's an amazing place to be from office space. If you're not working from home, I think it's relatively accessible. I think that there's generally good transportation in the areas to be able to get around. And I think that, the version of being able to build businesses from starting your companies to all that stuff and the infrastructure from sales tax, income tax is all there, right? Yeah. So I think those are the poster child.
It's almost a given at this point.
Yeah, at this point, I think it's there. And I still think it's way better than almost 48 states, I would argue. And so I think that that's sort of a pinnacle. So I want to maintain and keep those things. So there's definitely a reason to be here, but this is sort of the next step in it.
Yeah. All right. So take us, jumping ship here. How can people learn more about you? How can people learn more about Worth AI?
Yeah, so you can find us online. I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn, Sal Rehmetullah. You can find me there. I think for Worth, you can go to worthscore.com or worthai.com. I think if you're a business owner, come check it out. Find out your business credit score. I think that's a great way to start. And then we work a lot with the large enterprises. So if you're a credit union, a large financial institution, a large payment company, basically anybody that takes risk management for small businesses, how do you accelerate your onboarding? How do you get customers through your funnel quicker? How do you get them onboarded quicker? We're doing it for almost every large name you can probably think of in the financial world. We'd love to help you if there's a way to do that. And if you're looking for a new job or career, obviously we are leading edge in, the buzzwords of AI and large language models, but more than anything from a technology front, it's a great place to work. So check us out at worthai.com/careers, where I think we have 18 open positions right now, primarily in technology. So if you're looking for a job or a career here, happy to relocate you here, right here in Orlando.
Give us something to do next. So video or book recommendations, maybe something that you found during your sunset period, during your reflection period. What's something you love recommending just because it hit a strong note with you?
Snur's podcast is actually really good. It's basically a version of our story told in real time. So I think that if you haven't checked out CEO School, Snur's podcast, I would highly recommend you do it. I know it has a female audience driven piece, but I think it's accessible for all types and all individuals within that. And then outside of that, I think it was just, I've really enjoyed learning some more golf and pickleball, so more than anything, just getting back outside, right? I think being away from my computer and finding time in that way, I think it's just great to reset. So
yeah, gotcha. Really appreciate you joining us. Great story. Love to see what you're doing next. I'm sure we'll be talking soon.
Awesome. Great seeing you guys.